Huge temples were erected to worship gods. But these temples were more than observatories of the sky. They were used to travel between their lands. Make your way to the top of the tallest temple and find the god that resides there.
Hello again, and welcome to Let's Play Revelations 2012. This is the final video in the series. We're on the penultimate level, the Great Pyramid. I hate the Great Pyramid with a passion. This is by far the most difficult level in the game, and you'll see why shortly. Right out of the gate here, there's a bunch of spawners that spawn demonoids at a very alarming rate, and they have more health than any other spawners in the game so far. So they take like 4 or 5 laser gun shots to break, all the while you're being assaulted. But the game is kind enough to give you every single kind of weapon, more or less from the off here, because they know you're going to need a fully kitted out arsenal in order to survive everything this stage will throw at you, and it's quite easy to miss a lot of these as well. Check every single house. At this point I've picked up every single gun, but if you miss one, you're probably screwed. You really do need to use everything. Vixens and spawners and demonoids, there's so fucking many of them, it's insane. You can very quickly find yourself overrun in this level, and taking out the spawners and vixens is obviously a high priority in this level, otherwise they just won't ever stop coming. They don't stop otherwise. Shotguns are pretty good for getting rid of the spawners quite quickly. This is going pretty smoothly so far, but this is mostly just the result of like 20-odd practice takes. Although it is remarkably easy for everything to go tits up in this stage quite quickly. And as you can see in the top right corner of the screen there, the skull counter is bugged for some reason and is displaying 1 out of 1 skulls. There is only 1 skull in this level. It's actually not a very long level, or a big level in the grand scheme of things, but you don't start with the skull. For some reason that's just a bug with demo playback in this game. Anyway, our goal for this level is to ascend to the top of the pyramid there. You can see it in the background. But every single entranceway is blocked off with spikes. So, barring just kind of jumping over them, which it looks like you could do, but nah, there's invisible walls placed everywhere. What did you expect? What do we have to do? We have to run around the whole thing and pull a lever. It's not particularly imaginative level design, but at least the kind of circular design of the level and gauntlet-ish pace of it all makes it seem like the developers are trying to mix it up a bit for the end game. Even if it does sort of peter off in intensity towards the middle of the stage here. In fact, that's probably one of my bigger overall problems with this level in general. That beginning is really intense and really fucking hard, for no particular reason. You are given no time to orientate yourself with the level at all, and it's also while you're trying to grab the bigger weapons in your arsenal to deal with all the shit that's being thrown at you. So you can die repeatedly at the beginning multiple times, and then afterwards it just kind of stops. Very suddenly, for no particular reason. It's not well paced, is what I'm getting at here. It understands that you need periods of quiet in order to make the intense moments seem even more intense, but it just comes across like it was a sudden attempt to raise the ante rather than actually it feeling natural. It's weird, it doesn't jive well, is what I'm getting at here. And here the game is getting slightly harder just after a checkpoint, as it's allowed to do without frustrating the shit out of me by spawning a bunch of boars and vixens and stuff. The boars are more of a problem for the AI than they are for me, though, because the AI does not have the mystical ability to sidestep. And they knock weapons out of hands and things. The AI programming is a bit weird regarding drop weapons. I don't think they do pick up weapons that have been knocked out of their hands. Like you can see here, the guy has dropped his sniper rifle, but I don't think he reclaims it. Weird. Anyway, let's go get that skull, shall we?
Better now.
And now the chase is on, because the enemies don't ever stop spawning once you've picked up that 1 skull. Or at least I don't think they do. If they do stop, it takes so long that I don't notice. Another thing I've not actually shown is the fact that a pit opens up behind you when you pick up the skull, so you can't go back on yourself. And if you fall into said pit, you can't get out of it at all. There's no way up, as far as I can tell. If bots fall into it, they can warp out of it if they're lucky, but otherwise they're just stuck. Which is a bit shitty. If you fall into one by accident, you basically just forfeit your progress. But I suppose it's right after a checkpoint, so who cares? I'm at this point trying to deal with all the vixens in the grass because they spawn more enemies and more enemies on top of the more enemies that constantly spawn in. It's not a very good combination. Not at all. I'm going to take advantage of this quiet spot to make some ground here because it's basically a rush to the exit right now. The lever which will open up the exit for us. And Ben's gone down. We must wait for him. Having a good amount of firepower for the ending bit is very important. I'm preparing to the best of my ability because the last couple of minutes of this level are the hardest thing in this entire game. By far and away. No exaggeration. Get the snipe on that Vixen. I keep missing her head. This game does have headshots. You do deal more damage if you hit the head. I think that's interesting at the very least. It functions like a basic FPS, despite how cheap it looks in the end. Even if the crawling zombies, because I call them zombies, they're not zombies. Even if the crawling Maya dudes have awful hitboxes. See, here's another thing. A pit can open up here if you just sort of run to the middle, and again, you can't get out of it. You're fucked straight out. There's no indication it's there, aside from a part of the ground being sort of oddly coloured. Like, look very carefully, you can kind of see it a bit. But yes, in here is the lever we need to pull. You can tell because it glows white through walls. And a whole bunch of secondary ammunition. They're preparing us quite nicely here. This will open up the pathway that we need to go to, and this is where the true pain starts beginning with this level. I'm playing very carefully here. I'm trying not to activate that pit and get myself stuck, sticking to the edges of the area. So now we proceed upwards, and right at the top here is the exit, the teleport pad. Why isn't the stage ending? I don't fucking know. I'm not sure if this is a bug or whatever, but this is the hardest part. When you get up here, the horde is alerted, and it constantly spawns in tons of vixens and demonoids and just horrible bullshit. And the stage won't end for minutes, and I have no idea why. And it's the single hardest thing in the world, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed in this level. Constant spawning, doesn't stop, stage won't end until some condition has been met that's not made obvious to me at all. I don't know under what condition this level ends. I think it has to do with killing the enemies, so that's what I'm trying to do. It's also just generally a good idea to kill them if you don't want to die. But I don't fucking know. I don't get what's up with this level. I'm just gonna let you enjoy the absolute carnage and struggle as I try not to die on easy. I feel like pointing out this is still on easy. And I'll join you on the last level of the game, Ixtab, the goddess of suicide. I'll see you then.
Wow, I feel better. I'm not in Kansas City anymore, but this is awfully peculiar.
So this is it. The last stage, the final boss of Revelations 2012. Enjoy.
Ixtab, the goddess of the noose, is a wicked succubus with the power to destroy men's will. Only your allies can save you from her grasping noose.
Alright then, let's get this started, if I can find the thing that starts it. Where is it? Over here, there we go. Yes, anyway, Ixtab, much like Ik and Kulkukan, is also an actual Mayan god, or goddess in this case, Ixtab meaning rope woman. And her pattern is kind of simple. You can use the laser gun secondary fire here to great effect because Ixtab cannot tell the difference between an invincible party member and a not invincible one, so she will continue to mindlessly attack the ones that are invincible without doing anything. Then she flies upwards, throws a whole load of bombs down at you, which if you keep moving you can avoid well, and then she grabs two teammates with her noose in a manner I'm sure is directly stolen from the programming of Left 4 Dead and its smoker enemy. Because while we're blatantly ripping off everything, we might as well go whole hog with it. And during that time I grab more shield ammo so I can bug the AI like so. Totally focused on Kelly, even though Kelly can't be hurt. Just chop off so many points of her health at once. So yes, Ixtab. What the priest said probably isn't very accurate to actual Mayan culture. The priest depicted her as a wicked seductress or something like that, when in reality in Mayan culture suicide was often seen as an honourable way to die, and so Ixtab was often portrayed rather benevolently, as it were, like a guide of the spirit realm or some such like that. At least this is what Wikipedia tells me. I'm not well versed in Mayan mythology myself. And yeah, Ixtab, much like her previous two boss pal things, she's still not very interesting. She has a distinctly more interesting pattern than the other two, but not by much. She's a lot harder than the other two, primarily by virtue of just having more health, but you can bug her AI pretty easily with the laser gun secondary fire, which I'm struggling to find more of at this point. I will actually give a lot of points to Dark Arts for properly researching the boss appearances and such. I mean, it shows that someone put some thought into this, And oh dear, 2 party members are down and she's going to go up. She's going to do that noose thing that grabs 2 party members, which is only going to leave downed players able to shoot, which isn't good. They've only got crappy pea shooter guns. But she's so... the down bots have really fucking good aims, as you just saw, though. They saved the run there single-handedly. And that's that. That's Revelations 2012. As soon as we grab that red gem, we will end this game, and we will finally see the prized ending to this magnificent game. Oh yes, and also you can't do friendly fire damage once a boss has died. Like so. But yes, time for an ending.
I guess this is my last deposition.
Yep, Revelations 2012 ends on a cliffhanger to lead into the 4th add-on campaign they never actually bothered putting into the game. Spectacular job! And here we can see the pictures of the development team and of the research they did for this game, which, to their credit, they actually did do some research. And you can see here from the credits, most of this game was made by the Weeks family. I said this was a family production at some point. I have the credits to prove it. And yeah, that's Revelations 2012. Thank you for sitting through this weird fascination I have with a video game that's really not very good. And I hope you enjoyed this strange little excursion into the Mayan apocalypse. I will leave you with the credits and your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Push through the pain.
Feel like I'm going mad.
This is going to hell.
One step at a time.